Hi, how are you? I'm doing the final test just to check that everything's working and transmitting. Just 1 second. I should receive the signal. Hi, how are you? Okay, it works. So yeah, I think it's time to start. So welcome to everybody. Today it's lesson number 6 of our webinar series in which I'm trying to teach you how to become an expert app developer without programming. You know that with Codoozer, you can build super apps without any programming skills. So, well, if you've seen the previous videos, I taught you all the basics, especially the first 3 videos. They are really important because they are very useful in order to understand how Codoozer works. And if you understand the first 3 videos, then you will, I'm pretty sure it's going to be super easy that you become an expert app developer with Codoozer. Okay, because after the third video, we're learning more complex things, more advanced things, and we're talking about databases, we're talking about maps, a lot of things, but they are always using the same methodology as in the first 3 videos. Okay, so please, if you haven't seen the first 3 videos, watch them and then keep watching all the rest. Okay, so today we're going to continue with user profiles. Last week I explained how to create a login screen and a sign up screen, and we started doing some user profile. Okay, so we were able to add some information about the user, like asking the user for its name, age, something like that. Okay, and today we are going to still work on the user profile, but we're going to do something different. It's going to be user profile, but it's also useful for a lot of other things. Okay, so we are going to talk about taking pictures within the app. So we are going to let the user take a picture of himself or about anything. And then I will teach you how to edit the photo. So the user can crop or rotate the photo and just take one area of the photo. And then we will talk about how to store that photo, not in the app, but on Firebase storage. Okay, I think in the name or in the title of this webinar, I'm just seeing now that I said Firebase Firestore, but it's going to be Firebase Storage. Okay, which is another tool that Firebase provides, the storage, which is for storing files on the cloud. Okay, because normally when we want to do some social apps, okay, and we want people to share images and things like that, we always have to store those images on the server, on the backend. Okay, so we're going to use Firebase Storage in order to do that. Okay, so that will be the whole process. Okay, taking a picture, edit the picture, and upload it to Firebase Storage. Okay, so yeah, so let's begin. So I'm going to continue with the same app of last week. Okay, I just added this main view. Remember, I'm not sure if you remember that we just had a main view with the user ID on the screen, and then we had an edit profile screen, which was this one. Okay, so I just added the back button, and then for the main view, I just added this text and this image. Okay, this is a static image right now, but we are going to convert this picture in the user profiles picture. Okay, so well, first I'm going to create a menu because we only have this option. Remember the logout option here on the menu. So I'm going to create a new option, and it's going to be OPT, for example, profile. The title will be edit profile, and on click we want to go to the edit profile view. Okay, go to edit profile. Okay, so this is, I'm going to put it on top. So now I have this menu, edit profile, then logout. Okay, so after they click on edit profile, we're going to go to this screen, to the edit profile. This is the one we built last week, remember? So here I'm going to add something so the user knows that he can change the picture. Or, I mean, we could do only one screen for doing that. Instead of this edit profile, we could create another view called edit picture or something like that. I mean, okay. But anyway, I'm going to use this one, the edit profile. So first, I'm going to add a picture on top. Let's, for example, I can clone this component so I have it on top. And I'm going to change the name, like profile picture. And I'm going to create a group, not an image, okay? Because I want to have like a picture and then like an edit button on top, okay? So I'm going to change this to group. Okay, then I should change, I think I have everything. Well, maybe I don't need the background, the margin here on top. That should be good. And orientation can be vertical, that's okay. And I'm going to use a fixed width, like for example, like 150 width and 150 height. And each align in the middle or center. Okay, so this is going to be the placeholder where I'm going to put my picture. Okay, so inside this group, I'm going to create an image that can be like profile image preview, for example. And I'm going to use this picture as default, okay, for starters. Okay, then in the next steps, I will show here the real user profile picture. Okay, but now I have this one, which should be 100%, and well, it can be wrap because I mean it's a square picture, but I can use also 100%. Okay, so this is my picture, and now I'm going to add another image. And for here, I think I want to have some edit icon, something like that. Maybe I have one here now. Or maybe here, let's see. Yeah, this one. I think this one can work. So I'm going to put this one on Codoozer, and now I have my edit button. Okay, but well, edit button. Well, just an image, not a button. I mean, I can do the whole picture a button, not this one. So I'm going to change the position to absolute. Okay, so it's on top, and let's change the size. Let's use, for example, 48 points of density and also height of 48. Okay, then H align center and V align middle. Okay, well, you don't see this on the middle. This is some bug in this emulator. Okay, but in the app it's going to be on the middle. Okay, I will talk with my business partner. He's in charge, Carlos. He's in charge of the whole UI. So I will talk to him, and they will place it on the middle. Okay, but you'll see in the app it's going to work good. Okay, let's change this. So yeah, so what do I want to accomplish? So whenever they click on this picture, I want to open the camera, okay? Because I want the user to take a picture of himself, for example, okay? So this is very easy. Instead of just this edit icon, I'm going to use the whole, I mean, you can use the whole image or the whole group. I mean, both are good. So maybe it's easier if I use the group so that I don't need to spread everything. So I can put it here, like on click. And what should I do to show the picture? So it's super easy. You have this function called camera. Okay, this will open the camera, and then you have to enter one reference to some property. I mean, you can use a property or you can use a cookie. Since this is only temporary, I would use a property. Okay, so you can use a property and some name here. I mean, this is the default name, but you can change it. Okay, and this is the reference when after taking the picture, the app is going to store that picture inside the app in some cache or in some internal storage. So here on this property, the app is going, or yeah, my app is going to store the file, the file path for that image. Okay, it's going to be internal, but there I will have the whole route to the picture. Okay, so then with that you'll see that I can copy the image to other places, like in fact Firebase Storage. Okay, but for now we only need this, the function camera, and then some property to store the path to that file. Okay, because of course after taking the picture, I mean, the app is going to create an image file. Okay, and that file is going to be inside the app. So this is the path to that file. Well, we also have, I mean, maybe we don't need to do it today, but you also have the file function, which is pretty similar. The file function is for, instead of opening the camera, this will open the internal storage of the phone. Okay, I mean, like the gallery, so that the user can pick a picture or a file from its device. I mean, from his device. Okay, so but it's, I mean, the behavior is almost the same. Okay, so now I'm going to use camera. No, not calendar, sorry, camera. Okay, so what else? You see, we have the plus button. We have the if, of course, as always. All the functions have the if parameter, but then we have these two parameters. You see that they start with on. That means they are events. Okay, so that means that something can happen after doing the camera function. Okay, and well, basically two things can happen. First thing is that the user takes the picture and it works. Okay, so in that case, that's successful. Okay, so in that case, if the user really takes the picture, then we can use this event on success and we can put more functions here. Okay, so in that case, after taking the picture, we can tell the app to behave somehow. Okay, then we have also this on failed. This is another event that happens in case the user cancels the operation. Okay, so before taking the picture, maybe the user presses back, or maybe there's some error like when opening the camera. Sometimes, you know, the Android device fails. So yeah, in case we don't have any picture because the user canceled or there was an error, then this on failed event will be called, so we can react to that. Okay, well, normally if the camera fails or the user cancels, the user will know that he canceled, right? So most of the times we don't really need to do anything here on this event. Okay, but only in case the picture is mandatory. For example, if we are doing some app that the picture is required, we could do something like, if the user cancels, we could show some dialogue and tell the user that it's mandatory and they need a picture, something like that. Okay, so but in this case I don't really need to use it, so I'm just going to use the on success. Okay, so after taking the picture, I just want to go to another screen where I'm just going to let the user edit the picture. Okay, because you know that, I mean, if they use the camera, the picture is going to be really big, and it's not going to be, I just want to have like a round image or like a square. So I want to do some constraints. So and the camera takes a portrait picture. Okay, so I want the user to only pick one area or one region of the picture. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to create like a new screen or a new view called edit picture, so, for example. So let's go to views and use edit picture, for example, or photo. It's the same. Well, I really never understood the difference between picture and photo. I'm not sure when should I use photo or picture. I have the belief that it's pretty much the same, but sorry if I'm wrong. Okay, so yeah, I have this edit photo view. So after taking the picture, I just want to go to that view. Go to edit photo. Okay. So, and that's it. That's it. That's the only thing I need for taking pictures. Okay, you'll see that. So, yeah, we can do something like edit the picture as a title, and the wrap can be this one. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I could just generate an APK and show you, but maybe I should finish this first. Or okay, let's add some text label and add here you took a picture, for example. Okay, so that should be it. I'm going to export and I will show you on my phone. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, I'm going to open the Visor app in the meantime. Oh, there's some error here. Let's try again. Since this is last week's app, I don't remember if I changed something on the last minute, and I hope it works. In the meantime, I'm going to check if everything's good. Authentication, Firestore. Seems okay. I think everything's good. Or maybe there was some dialogue, temporary dialogues or something. It should exist, invalid. Yeah, I think we did something with, oh no, now it works. Okay, perfect. Yeah, remember that sometimes you try to export to APK and it fails. So you always have to try again, and most of the times it will work. Okay, that's only because, now we're using a temporary server for generating the APKs. Okay, and from time to time it needs to reset the memory. So if you try to export just in that moment when it's like releasing memory, then it will fail. But you can, as you see, you can just try again. Okay, let's see. I'm going to download. Okay, it's still downloading. Okay, download complete. Install. Open. Now I have here my main view, which is my profile picture, and then this thing, this text. Okay, so if I go to edit profile, I see this. I mean, I should have used a transparent background because I see this white box. This is because, or maybe the group, yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, since I created a group from this input, I think I still have this white background. Okay, I will remove it. So if I click here, you see that the camera is open and I'm going to take a picture. I mean, my camera really sucks because my screen is broken, but you know, that's something. So I've taken the picture and now you see that it takes me to the next screen. Okay, because since it was successful, the unsuccess event was called. So it, I mean, it called the function go to edit the picture. Okay, so if I go back and then edit profile, let's cancel. Now I'm going to open the camera and now I'm going to press back. You see, nothing happens. Okay. Okay, so let's do the next step. Okay. So, well, now we are going to create this. I mean, we're going to finish this edit photo view. So instead of having this text, I'm going to have another component called the cropper. Okay, this is for editing a picture. You see, this is only a preview, an example. You see, it will be something like this, like a edition area with some handles that you can move. I mean, not here in this preview, you cannot move this, but you know, you will be able to handle, I mean, to move these handles, okay, in order to change. So I'm going to call this like my cropper, for example. Okay, and this is a very important part. I mean, you have the width and the height. I mean, you could do 100% and 100%. I mean, it will really depend on the picture you use. Okay, so how can we set the picture for the cropper? So we have this source parameter, and here we should use the path to the file. Okay, and we have that. Let's go to main view. Remember that in our where is that profile picture image? Oh no, it was in edit profile. Sorry. We had this function camera and we had this property. So this is where we are putting the image file. Okay, so this is where the image file is located. So we're going to use this property.temp file as a source here on the cropper. Okay, so then if we go to this view, then the cropper will try to show the image file within this property. Super easy, right? Well, now we have some parameters. Okay, we can change the colors for our cropper. I mean, by default, it will take like the primary color and the dark primary and things like that. Okay, but you can change. I mean, if you want to change the frame, for example, you can use, this is primary dark by default, but we could do like blue. You see the frame, this is this here. You can also change the color for the guide. We can use also, let's use blue as well. Now you see, you can also change the color for the handles. You could do also like blue again, or let's do accent. Then the color also for the overlay, which is this area outside the crop area. Okay, normally you want to have some semi-transparent color. So if you go here, so to colors, you could use, let's do some, like take this blue and we can use some, let's call it overlay, for example. And we're going to use this blue, but let's do it like semi-transparent, something like this. Okay, so let's go to edit photo and change the color for the overlay. Remove this and use color overlay. Okay, for example, you can do that. Then what else we have? Well, we have this, which is very important, the format. And we have the quality. I will talk about that. And we have the mode. Okay, these three parameters are specific for the cropper. Okay, so, well, format is the format of the image file. Okay, you can pick JPEG or you can use PNG. Okay, and this is a very important decision. Okay, because if you want to use this photo and you want to upload the picture to Firebase Storage, the size of the file is something that it should really matter. Okay, because you know that, I mean, Firebase is free for the small apps, but if you start to grow, then they will start charging you. Okay, I mean, if you have a super big database with thousands and thousands of users, I mean, if you do more than 10,000, no, it's, yeah, 10,000 operations on the database per day, it's free. But if you want to do more, they will charge like 18 cents per month. I mean, that's, I think, per to raise the limit to 100,000 requests per day. Okay, but also for the storage, I mean, storage is free. I can show you here on Firebase pricing. I mean, if your app is not super big, I mean, if you only have like 1,000 users or 5,000, I think it should be free forever. Okay, but here you see storage. Okay, so, well, this is the free version. I mean, the one on the left, and then pay as you go on the right. Okay, so you have, for free, you have 5 gigabytes, which is good enough. And then you can have 1 gigabyte per day of data transmission. Okay, and 50,000 downloads per day. Okay, which is, I mean, for most of the apps, this is more than enough, right? Okay, but then if you need some extra space, if you need like 10 extra gigabytes, then they will charge 20 cents per month, which is not super big, you know. But anyway, if you want to save some money, I mean, if you have plans to have a super big app, I mean, if you start to have like 100,000 users using your app and sharing images and all that stuff, then the size of the files really matter. Okay, so normally if you are like taking pictures, a JPEG has a much higher compression than PNG. Okay, because PNG normally is for like drawings, like, I mean, images where you have like solid colors and things like that. But if you have real photos, I mean realistic photos, then you should always use JPEG to save space on storage. Okay, but then there's another factor in order to decide. The thing is that JPEG files don't accept transparency. So if you want to have like a round profile picture, then you will need PNG, because PNG files accept transparency. Okay, so if we want to have this round profile picture and see the background. Okay, so for example, let's go to edit profile. Remember that here we have this white background. Okay, so if we use a JPEG file, then we will have this white background. Okay, but let's remove this background. Okay, now you don't see the white thing because this picture is transparent. I mean, it doesn't have corners. It's transparent. Okay, so this is because it's a PNG. Okay, so yeah, I think in our example, I'm going to use PNG only because of that. Okay, but remember, I mean, you should always keep that in mind. Okay, that the JPEG file have higher compression for realistic images. Okay, so yeah, then we have in the quality parameter. This is only in case you chose JPEG. Okay, I mean, for PNG, it doesn't really matter if you pick 72 or 100. Okay, only if you use PNG, you can set a different quality. Okay, if you want to save space, you can do something like 60 something. Okay, I mean, the quality of the picture will be lower. Okay, but you will save more space. Okay, but since we're using PNG, this is ignored by the app. And then we have this mode, which is very important. I mean, this is the like constraining the size of our crop area. Okay, so we can have squares, we can have like 16:9. Okay, as I told you, I mean, the picture that the user takes is going to be big and portrait. Okay, so we can, I mean, if we always want like 3/4 aspect ratio, we can have this. So if the user moves the handles, I mean the proportions will be always the same. Okay, and we can use, I mean, you have all these parameters. You can use the free, which is no constraints. I mean, the user can crop any area. And then these two, I should explain these two. Okay, so, well, the fit, I'm not sure the fit. I don't know this one. What, I mean, you can try it, but I'm not going to try it. Then I want to explain the difference between the circle and the circle square. Okay, so if you pick circle, then you will have a circle crop with transparent corners. Okay, so this is in case we want to save as a PNG with transparency. Okay, but if you are going to just use JPEG, but still you want to have round images, you can use circle square. Okay, this will add, I mean, no transparency. You will have the circle crop, but then you will have white corners. Okay, so you will have like the picture inside the square. Okay, so if you're going to use JPEG, you should use circle square. Okay, I guess in the future we will let you put circles as a background, or for any component we will allow you to have some round corners. Okay, so having a square picture, it will be possible to create a mask with the background. So even if you have a square with no transparency, you will still be able to put it in a circle, okay, with transparent corners. Okay, but that will be, I mean, in the future. Okay, so, but for now I'm happy with the circle. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We don't have, I mean, then we have the regular parameters like background, H-align, margin, all those things. Okay, I don't need them. And another thing you can do with croppers is to rotate the image. So how can we rotate the image? I mean, not we, but the user. How can we let the user rotate the image? So I'm going to do some icons here in order to rotate. So I'm going to create like a floating group. Let's call it buttons group. It's going to be with position absolute and H-align center and B-align middle, no, not middle, bottom. And I will have some margin like 36 something maybe. Okay, so here's my group. And then I will have I'm going to use a wrap width and an orientation horizontal. Okay, and the height can be wrap. This is good. Okay, so inside this I'm going to have two buttons. Okay, one for rotating to the right and one for rotating to the left. So I'm not sure if I have the icons ready. No, so I'm going to icon finder and I'm going to look for rotate, for example. Okay, so I can use okay, maybe I can use this one. I like this one. No, not really. I mean, not in purple, but I mean this. I mean, I'm wasting time. I think, but Okay, no, I think I'm going to use, do I have like both sides, left and, okay, not sure about that. Okay, let's use this one. Maybe, okay, here. I have left and I don't see the right. Here, okay. So I'm going to download this one, like this size. And the other one was here. Is it the same? No, it's not the same, right? I'm not really sure. I just forgot the other one. I mean, just scrolling down, I just forgot it. But let's try. I'm going to copy them. No, it's not the same. So I have the right. I have the left, but it's different. Okay, let's keep looking for it. Okay, this one. Yeah, I think this one is good. Or these two. Yeah, they are also good. Okay, let's use left and right. Okay, now I have it. This is right, or I mean clockwise, CW, and this is left, which is CCW. Okay, so let's put those on Codoozer. Where are they? Okay, so now I'm just going to have two images here. Like first one is going to be image to the left, and let's use like 64 maybe. Button left, and well, let's have a background trans solid. Well, maybe black is good. And yeah, since the background, I mean, since the overlay is blue, maybe it's good enough, but let's try with white. Okay, and add some padding maybe, like 12. Okay, yeah, this can work. Button left, I have my button left here, and then I'm going to clone it and have button right. And I will change the picture. I just need to remove one C. No. Okay, yeah. And let's add some margin on start, like maybe 16. Okay, yeah, that should work. Okay, so now I have two buttons. Okay, so I want these buttons to rotate the image. Okay, it's going to be super easy. So in order to rotate the image, I need to change one property of the cropper component. Okay, so I have this, the whole component, which is my cropper. So I'm going to add an on-click event to my button. So I only need to change that property, okay, on my cropper. So to change a property on a component, sorry, I need a set function, and I'm going to use the add element dot my cropper dot and I think it's called rotation. Okay, let me check. Let's go to GitHub /doyotech/wisdom. Okay, this is where we have the help. I'm not sure if the English translation is complete, but let's try. We have under views, we have components, and I think we have the cropper. Okay, so here you have some info. Okay, it's in Spanish still, but anyway, let me just check. Oh, this is component image. Okay, it's not ready. Okay, anyway, I think it's called rotation. Okay, if it doesn't work, I will try with rotate, but I think it's called rotation. Okay, so if I set a value for this property for rotation, and this value is less than 0, I don't really care if it's -1, -10, or -90. I can use -1, and that will make my image to rotate to the left 90 degrees. Okay, I mean, with the cropper you can only like change like 90 degrees every time. Okay, so every time you set this value to -1, it will rotate to the left. Okay, and so, well, let's copy this function and let's do the same on the other button. On click, and I'm going to paste this function, but now I'm going to do the opposite. Instead of -1, I'm going to use some positive value, and it can be 1, 2, 3, 90, 1000. I mean, if it's positive, it's going to rotate 90 degrees to the right. Okay, and yeah, that's basically it. Well, I could use some save button, okay, because maybe I mean, in case the user clicks on cancel or on back, I don't want to save this on storage. Okay, so yeah, I'm just thinking that maybe I could always save the picture. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Only for this first example. Okay, so I'm going to use the event on back pressed. So if they click on back, I want to save this picture somewhere. Okay, so for now I'm going to save that picture inside the app, not in storage. That will be the next step. Okay, but only for this example, I'm going to save the image, the cropped image, inside the app, and then I will use it in the previous view. So I'm going to save with set. I'm going to just save it temporary. So I'm going to use some property dot cropped image, and the value. How can I get the real path to the cropped image? So that's another property for my cropper component. Okay, so I'm going to access it like add element dot my cropper dot, and I think it's called cropped image with the uppercase I. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so now if I click on back, I will put the image here in this property. Okay, and well, remember that if you use the on back press event, you are blocking the app to go back. Okay, because I'm doing functions here, so after doing these functions, the app won't go back unless I use this function, the function back. Okay. So now it will save the picture on this property and then go back. So yeah, let's do this. Property, I'm going to copy it. So in the edit profile, instead of this picture, well, I have the profile image view here. It is using by default, it's using the user.png. Okay, but I'm going to use this source, and I will use this. Okay, so once this reference has a value, then it will change the content. Okay, so if I go back, it should change this image. Okay, so yeah, let's try. Okay, and hold on for 20 seconds, please, while it generates the APK. I need to check something. Okay, not ready yet. And after this, I will do the final step for this webinar. Okay, now we are, we know now how to take pictures. We know now how to crop them. And next step will be how to store them on storage. Okay. Should be ready soon. Well, sometimes it takes like 5 minutes. Normally it's like 2, something like that. But I'm going to start doing the next step while it generates the APK. Okay, so we can save time and let's not stay here, just be quiet. So, well, for using storage, I'm going to go to Firebase. And let's go to console. I'm not sure which project I'm using. Maybe it's this one, lesson 4, right? Okay, I have this app, com.codoozer lesson 4. I think, yeah, it's ready. Let me check. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay, let's see the app first. Open. I missed the button. I don't know why it's like semi-transparent, my phone. Here, my phone is okay, but here this visor, mirroring up, it's showing like dark. I don't know how to change that anyway, but it's going to work anyway. So let's go to edit profile, edit the picture. Now I'm going to take a picture of myself. Not very good. So now you see, now I'm seeing the cropper. It's not taking full screen. I think it's because of the proportions of the picture. Okay, so maybe I should have used a background color for the whole screen, like blue. Okay, but now you see that I have these handles. Okay, so I can move the handles, but the proportion is always the same. It's a circle. Okay, so there's always this constraint that I have to use a circle. I can just move my area, or I can change the size. Okay, and then I have these buttons. So if I click here, you see, it rotates. Every time I click, it rotates 90 degrees to the right or to the left. Okay, so basically this is the cropper. So if I click back, it should store the picture inside that property. Okay. Well, it didn't go to edit profile. Okay, I think this is because we have the history as false. We should put it true. So if we now go to edit profile, you see my, sorry. Let me show you my phone. Okay, so if I go to edit profile, you see my picture now. Okay, because I mean, my picture is stored inside that property. Okay, not really the picture, but the path to my image file. Okay, now there's a copy of that file inside the app. So on that property, I'm storing the path to that image. Okay, so yeah, pretty cool, right? So let's do the final step. So I was going to talk about how to, now I'm putting the image inside the app, but if in case this is a social app and I want to share my image with everyone, like it's my public profile, something like that, I should store that image on storage, on Firebase Storage. Okay, so you should just go to Firebase, go to storage, and well, now I have this active. Normally, if it's the first time you try to use storage inside your project, you will see like this, some screen like this one, I guess, with something like get started with storage, something like that. Okay, maybe I can try a different project, like maybe, I don't know, my first project maybe. No. Or this one. Okay, yeah, this one. I mean, I haven't ever activate storage for this project, so you will see some screen like this one. You have to click here and get started. These are the rules for accessing the app. Okay, these are the default rules. So with these rules, you are saying that allow read and write only if there's a logged in user. I mean, if there's a real user that after a login screen, so there's some user session active, then the app will be able to write on storage. Okay, this is something for security, so that not anyone can write on my storage space. Okay, and then click on next, and you will have to choose a location. Okay, so if all your users are from US, you should pick here a US location. If they are all from Europe, you should use a Europe location. So it will be faster for downloading, things like that. Okay, then press done. And after like 30 seconds to 1 minute, I mean, your cloud space will be ready. Okay, so I'm not going to do it because I don't really need it for this project. So let's go back to lesson 4 project. Okay, so this is my storage screen. Okay, so this is like some Finder or some Windows Explorer. So here I will see all my files or all my folders, everything. Okay, only in case I want to check. But normally, I mean, you can upload files from here in case you want to prepare some files for your app. Okay, but normally all the files here will be uploaded from your app, right? So yeah, now this is active. Let's go back to Codoozer. So you need to activate storage. Okay, we already have Firebase active from last week. So now we need to activate storage. You have to click here on storage and set it to true. Okay, this will add the source code in your app for handling Firebase storage. Okay, I mean, if you try to use storage at some point with the set function, as we will see right now, and you don't put storage to true here on Firebase, then the app won't generate. Okay, you will get errors. So this is very important. Okay, so let's go back to photo. Okay, so now instead of storing my image here, I'm going to store it on storage on Firebase. I mean, you can store it in both places. Okay, so you could store it in a cookie, for example. So in case you want to open the app and show the picture faster instead of downloading from Firebase, You could also put some cookie here. Okay, so next time you will still know where the picture is. Okay, but in this case, I just want to save it on storage. Okay, so how should I do it? It's super simple. Okay, you know that the function set is super powerful, right? I mean, I think it's probably the most powerful function on Codoozer. Okay, because with set you can move information from one point to another, from one reference to another. Okay, so one file is a piece of information, right? So we just want to move our file from the cropper, from here, to Firebase Storage, right? So since we just want to move information, we need to use the function set. It's same function. Okay, it's the magical function of Codoozer. Okay, so what reference do we want to set? Okay, what's the destination for our information? So it's going to, since it's Firebase, we are going to use add Firebase. Then which tool of Firebase is it? It's storage, right? So dot storage. Okay. And now we could use just after, well, one dot, and after the dot, now we can put the name file. Okay, I mean the file name. Okay, so we could use something like profile.png. Okay, but I mean, this is wrong. I mean, this will work, but what if we use this? I mean, if we have different users, if they take their picture, I mean, all the pictures will be stored in the same file. I mean, not all of them, but every time a user uploads a photo, it will overwrite the previous photo of another user. Okay, so normally you want to have something like the user ID, for example, as a name. You can do like parentheses and add firebase.user.id. Okay, remember that in this app we have a login screen. Okay, I mean, when I show you the app, it went directly to the main screen. Okay, this is, let's remind it, because here on the on start event we have this condition: go to sign up if there's no active session. I mean, if firebase.user.id is null, then go to sign up. Else, I mean, if it's not null, if there's a session active, then go to main view. Okay, so I still have this session active from last week. So this is why I didn't see the login screen before. Okay, but I just went to the main view because I already have a Firebase user ID. Okay, so okay, let's go back here. So if I use this, then it will create a file with my user ID and then .png. Okay, this will save my file just right here in the root folder in my storage. Okay, but normally you want to have all your files arranged and organized in folders, right? Because if you have thousands and thousands of users, you don't want all the pictures. I mean, if you have the user profile picture and then you have other pictures from, I mean, I don't know, maybe you're doing some app for taking pictures, like collections of pictures or things like that. I mean, if you put all the pictures in the same folder, it's going to be a super mess. Okay, so you should always use folders in order to organize your files. Okay, so how can you create folders? So it's super easy. You could do something like profiles slash and the name of the file. Okay, in this case, if this folder doesn't exist, it will automatically create it. Okay, so you don't really need to worry about creating a folder here. Okay, whenever you try to save something in this folder, it will create the folder in case it doesn't exist. Okay, you can do something like that, or you could even have one folder for users. So let's say you want to use folder users slash, and you can use the user ID as the name of the folder and then use something like this, profile.png. Okay, this is also valid. You can use slashes to separate folders. Okay, and you can have as many nested folders as you want. Okay, so this should be good. Okay, and we could do something like, well, now this is the reference to storage. I'm going to copy, and here on the edit profile, I'm going to, instead of this source, I'm going to change the source to this. Okay, but not only here, but also in the main view. Here I have this user picture, so I'm going to use also a source. Okay, so if there's no value here, I mean, if this file doesn't exist, it will show the user.png as the default icon for my user. Okay, so yeah, let's try. Well, let me download the CDC just in case. Again, I always like to give you this reminder. You should always download the CDC. I mean, after 10 minutes, I mean, if you have done some progress in your app, then you should always download the CDC, okay? Because you know that we're using the internal database of Chrome, of our browser, okay? And it's local, but sometimes that database breaks. So you should always have the CDC, because if something happens, then you should always be able to keep working on your project by uploading the CDC file, okay? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's export. Okay, let's try again. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, I'm getting some error for the third time. This is no good. This happened, I think, 2 weeks ago in one webinar that we were having some server trouble for 15 minutes. I hope this is not the same case, but did I added Firebase Storage? Yeah. This doesn't look good. I mean, this is correct. Storage.users. Yeah, this is correct. So maybe, I mean, we added some changes last week on Codoozer, so I hope we didn't change something that affects the storage. Let's hope not. Yeah, okay, let me download the CDC again and open a different, well, let's create a project from scratch and try here. I mean, this default project should work, and if it doesn't create the project, then something's wrong. Yeah, I think the server is down now. I think this always happens during the English webinar. Okay, let's see. Now it's taking more time, so maybe now it's working. Okay, I hope we had some like 5-minute break in our server, something like that. It looks like that. Yeah, let's go back to the app and let's cross fingers. Which worse? I think it's this one. Lesson 4, file storage. Well, I know this is undefined. I really have my fingers crossed. I think now it's taking more time than before. Maybe this is good. Again, in case you were not watching at the beginning of this webinar, I was explaining that we are using a temporary, now it works. Okay, we had a server break for 5 minutes, something like that. Okay, so that's the reason. Now we are using a temporary server for doing all the APK generation. Okay, next month we want to move that and create a more robust server. Okay, but the thing is that, I mean, it's a weak server, so if there are like a lot of APKs being generated at the same time, or I mean, since it's a low memory server, maybe after some generations it has to reboot or something. Sometimes it only like clears the memory, but some other times it needs to reboot. Okay, so if that happens, it might not work for 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. Okay, so if you get errors and errors, and you are sure that your app is correct, then maybe it's time for taking a break, like 10-minute break, and then come back to Codoozer and try to generate it again. Okay, you see, I mean, you just saw that I didn't change anything in the app and it started working. Okay, so I promise it will be much better in some months. But I mean, we're using our time to develop new features instead of improving the generator. Okay, so I'm going to scan the app, download it. Let me show you. Well, now let's do this smaller. I don't know why Visor keeps having my dark mode phone open. Um, okay, now I have my main view with the default user.png file because there's no file on storage. So I'm going to go to edit profile. Let's take a picture again from myself. Okay, I have my handles. Well, I'm going to rotate and save the rotated image. Okay, just you can, I just want to show you that it will save it rotated. Okay, now I'm going to click back. Okay, now it changed, you see, but well, now you don't see it here because you have to refresh Firebase. This is only something with the dashboard. Okay, but let's refresh my storage dashboard and you will see my folder. You see the users folder. It created automatically the users folder, so I can go inside. And now I have this folder with my user ID. Okay, so if there are 1,000 different users in our app, it will create 1,000 folders here. So this is the folder for this user, and inside this, there's the profile.png. Okay, and you see that rotated image. Okay, and it's 1 megabyte. It's super big. Okay, you should try to always have like smaller pictures. And I'm not sure which size this is. We can try to download. Maybe it's too big. Um, let's check. Where is it? Here. Where's the size? I don't see it. Here. Yeah, I think it's too big. So I guess that we're going to do something. So it's going to be some parameter. I mean, it's not ready, but it will be soon, I guess. For the cropper, we are going to add some new parameter here, so you can specify the size of the picture. Okay, so if you only need like 512 pixels, something like that, it will save space. Okay, and maybe that's enough for most of the cases. Okay, so it will be ready soon. So not only the mode, like the circle and everything, so we will have another parameter. You will see that in some weeks to just decide the size. Okay, so maybe we will use like the cropped width, something like that. Okay, and the height will be like automatic. Okay, in order to keep the ratio. Okay, but it's not ready, but it will be soon. Okay, so yeah, so I think it works pretty good. We have our picture and that's it. So, well, I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to explain today in this webinar. Okay, yes, as to sum everything up, I taught you how to take pictures from the app, also how to take files, then how to edit the files, how to edit the images so that the user can crop and select only one area. And then we learned how to upload our pictures to Firebase Storage. Okay, so well, you could also, I mean, if you have this whole road, remember that you can also, in case you have a database. Okay, I think here we have the users information from another webinar last week. You could have here like the photo file, and as a value you could have the whole road to the picture. Okay, this is also okay. So in this case, you could have here in the main view, instead of having a route to Firebase storage, you could have here like Firebase firestore.users dot the user ID, which is the document ID, and then photo. Okay, oh, not for you. That's funny in Spanish. Okay. So in this case, the app will take the value from here, and since this is a route to storage, it will keep trying to find the final value. Okay, so it will take the image from storage as well. Okay, so yeah, so I hope you learned. I mean, this is very useful for most of the apps. If you want to create any social app or any like food delivery app or something like that, you will need something like this. In most cases, you will need the users to take pictures, or in case you don't need pictures, but maybe you want to store information on storage, like files, PDF files, things like that. You can do that as well. Okay. So, well, I hope you found this webinar useful and entertaining, maybe. And I hope you find it useful, but I hope that you really put that on practice and you start creating apps using this. Okay. Remember, if you create one app with Codoozer, we would be happy to see that app, give you recommendations, help you to finish the app. So if you have any questions, you can always send an email to support@doyo.email. I can write it for you. So it's going to be support@doyo.email. Okay. in case you try to generate and you get errors like generating the APK, or in case you want to know if you can do something, how to do it, everything, if you have any questions, you can just email us to that email. And well, at this time it will be me, the one answering those emails. I guess in some months we will start having some support department, but now you can just write there and I will try to answer as soon as possible. Okay. I'm sorry if it takes like 2 or 3 days. I mean, sometimes I'm really busy, but still, I mean, if there's an error generating the APK, I will try to prioritize that. Okay, if I see on the subject of the email like something like error generating the APK, then I will try to answer that first. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for today. Next week we will start working with maps. We already know how to use databases, right? Or do we? Well, I will check. So yeah, I guess we did that. Yeah, we know how to use databases. We did that last week. So I think next week in lesson 6, we're going to start working with maps, I believe. Okay, I will check. I want to do the same schedule as I do in Spanish, so to follow the same chapters or same lessons. I believe next week we will start with maps. It will take 2 lessons because we are going to do different. Well, one will be for maps and another one will be for taking locations on the background, like frequently, something like that. So, and that's going to be super interesting. Okay, but because maps are one of the other things you want to use on normally in a lot of social apps, okay, or food delivery apps or transportation apps, things like that. So, and maps are some feature really cool on Codoozer. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. And remember, if you have questions, you can email us, and see you on the next webinar. Okay, bye.